Harold Osmer, West Hills Wood. What to do while your CNC is running. Hey, you're getting 3 projects in one video. My gosh, the bargains are just everywhere. Be sure to like this video. Do it now. It's a quick thing. Subscribe while you're at it. It just helped me out. You know, I'll eventually get to 1,000 guys. Then I'm going to have to take this more serious. So I have a CNC machine. Had it for about a year. I do enjoy using it. But it does create some downtime because when the machine is running, it's an autonomous piece. You don't really have to interact with it at all. You need to change bits every now and then, and you do have to pay attention. You don't want to wander off and just let this thing run. You want to stay close by. And unless it starts screaming and making goofy noises out of the normal screamy, goofy noises, yeah, there's not much for you to do. So that's part of the idea behind this video, is what do you do while your machine is running? Well, here's one. It's just going. It's cool. It's kind of mesmerizing for a little bit. And in the end, 2 hours later, you get this wonderful piece. Look at that. It's great. So now all you have to do is figure out how you're going to finish it. And there's an inside joke here somewhere between the guy who wanted the sign and his brother. And so that's why the Vaughn is spelled with the A in the middle. But so it goes. And we did a colored epoxy fill on this. They left it up to me to decide how it would be colored, what color it would be, and all that sort of business. And so I did. And it gets a little messy. It's part of why you seal it, so that those pieces will knock off there pretty easily, especially when you run it through a little planer, which is my preferred point on that. And here you go. So that's one. Now that one project, now that took up 2 hours on the machine, plus an overnight dry on the epoxy and whatever else. And it's a couple of days worth of work, but it's not 2 days worth of actual hands-on work, if you get the idea. So the local dentist shop, obviously. That's the screen grab off the computer. That's the design work that she had to okay ahead of time. She was fine with that. And it took 2.5 hours for this to cut on the machine. So what do you do with your 2.5 hours? Well, you come up with another project to make. As it happens, a friend of mine over at the local Lowe's, cashier, young woman, about the same age as my daughters. So we kind of connected a year or so ago in a friendly manner. I try not to be the creepy old guy, and that's it. Well, hey, the dentist sign, look at that. Turned out great, eh? Sure did. So while this was cutting, I made a little plaque with Alyssa's name on it. And this is what it looked like. Now we filled this with epoxy as well. Again, she didn't know this was coming. I was just surprising her. I knew it was her birthday. And so that's what I did. I just made this for her. And I didn't want to give her just a little plaque thing with her name on it, because I've done that before. You know, not with her, but alone, but with others. And that she happened to be the first one that encouraged me to start doing this in the first place. And that was a year ago. So I decided this time I'm going to make a box to go with her thing. So there it is. Had some scrap maple laying around. And you know how wide to make the grooves for your bottom piece by sliding your bottom piece in there, and as soon as it fits, you're done cutting. That's how I decide. So I had these long pieces. I didn't know how big to make this box yet. Visually, I started out at like 3.5 inches tall on this, but my bottom piece was narrow and the proportions didn't look correct. So I cut it, adjusted. Why not? Meanwhile, the CNC machine's over there screaming away. You know how long to make your box by finding the piece you're going to use for the top and stand that alongside of it, and then you decide from there. So here it is, being glued up, and the top piece is just sitting there loose. That's obviously before I carved Alyssa's name in the top of it. And then we have 45-degree angles on our corners here. That's a beveled corners, and that's not terribly strong. Now, this box isn't going to be under a lot of tension, but hey, if you dress it up a little bit, it looks good. And to cut those splines, you use your spline cutting jig that goes with your table saw. I'll show you that another time in another video if it really matters to you. We used blue velvet for the bottom of the box because I have some blue velvet in the drawer, so that's what we used. And it matched the hummingbird. Magic. And there's our splines, there's our box, put felt feet on each of the corners. A nice, simple box for my buddy Alyssa. It's her birthday. She loved it. I was able to do this while the machine was running, and it just worked out well. So there you go. Hey, you got 3 projects in one video. Hi, it's wonderful. So be sure to like and subscribe on the video. This is Harold Osmer, West Hills Wood. Send beer.